There we go. And there one. All right, y'all. We are live. I can't even see myself right now. Hold on. What? Yeah, I've been struggling to try to get a higher resolution picture on this. And so I figured it out, which is just turn the damn phone around, right? All right. So, which is perfect for today's topic. This is exactly what I'm here to discuss. Ndewo, everybody. Ndewo no. Ring light. That's what's up. No, believe it or not, I've had a ring light. Believe it or not, I've had a ring light. I'm not a lighting and AV guy. And so after just trying to figure out normal stuff, I got rid of the ring light. I set up some other stuff, and now this is looking like a damn yes, this is, you guys, I don't you guys don't know what I have been going through with this damn quality, right? And it doesn't help to have kids. Hold on, I'm trying to get the door out of the way. That doesn't look cinematic. Hold on. Yes, this is exactly what I was trying to do. My face is kind of shiny. Hold on. All right. So yeah, I figured out the keys. And there one, guys, the sun is shining in your face, I think. I mean, who knows? Either way, let it continue to shine, because I've been trying to do this for a long ass time. And then I figured out I got useless ass cameras everywhere. I got all types of stuff I have no business wanting, right? Finally figured out, bro, just turn your phone around the other way. And here we are. So, udonando. Welcome. I don't know if I'm getting a live read of who's up or how many people is here, but once we get to 15 people, I'm going to go ahead and begin. You look bright and sunny. I appreciate that. Thank you. Once we get 10 people in here, I'm going to go ahead and begin. For those who are new, my name is Derek Ofadarimo in the Medicine Shell, coming to you in HD. Coming to you in HD. My name is Derek Ofadarimo with the Medicine Shell. I teach Igbo spirituality and cosmology, Odinani, here on the Medicine Shell. If this is a topic that you're interested in, you can go ahead and subscribe. There's a subscribe button below. If you are already subscribed, join the village. Join the village. I have put a link up top for the Patreon. I have to squeegee all the rancid diarrhea off my floor. You have good luck with that, goulash. But yeah, so I have a link for those who want to join the village up top. It is our Patreon community. On Patreon, I share my library, which has over 300 books, journals, things like that on Igbo spirituality and cosmology. I've got books on astral projection. I've got very hard to find ones like Leopard of the Magic Dawn, things that go super in depth, things that can just introduce you to the ideas if you're a newcomer, whatever you're looking for, big guides to doing DBO work and so forth. But Daalụ nwanne mmadụ. Hey, Daalụ nwanne. Udo nwanne. Huh? Ejibo biọma na-ekele gị. So anything, whatever you're looking for as far as learning Igbo spirituality, culture, and cosmology is available on patreon.com/themedicinesshell. Plus, this is the only movement moving, right? We have an awesome community on Patreon. We have a group study where we all get together. We're sharing ideas. We kind of take a topic and then we discuss it. So I'm actually going to do that today. And today's discussion is how to increase your luck. I'm going to give you guys a sample of what we're doing on Patreon. And then, of course, there's a bunch of exclusives there. We have 10 people in here. Once we get 15 people, I will go ahead and begin. Once we get 15 people, I will go ahead and begin. Yes. Udo. Greetings from Brazil. Oh, wow. Udo nwanne. Biko, kedu ka Brazil dị gị n'anya? How is Brazil in your eyes? How's Brazil treating you? Cornelius is Okike. And I know, okay, the time shouldn't be too far from our own time anyway. So, Odemma, I greet you where you're at. Wonderful, wonderful. How long have you been in Brazil, Cornelius? Once we get 3 more people in here, we're going to go ahead and begin. For those of you who want to get this thing started, grab the link, put it on the WhatsApp group, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter, post it everywhere that you can post this. We want to see if I want to fix my angle. I'll figure this out. Hold on. I like that better. Yeah. All right. So post this everywhere that you can post something so that we can 20 years. Oh wow. Ibukwa. Wow, fall for that place. Okay, I greet you. Anyways, so okay. Uh-huh. I have some audience members from Brazil, and they're growing. People are interested in this our Odinala in that Brazil. So as you're encountering people, I hope you're also teaching them what you can about their ancestors, because our people are there too. I listen in on the group studies, Phoenix. Yes, so Phoenix, you've given some comments. I don't think you've been quiet. You say that like you've been quiet the whole time. Phoenix, I want to say you've commented once or twice. You shared something once or twice. Am I wrong, Phoenix? I'm a citizen, but I miss Alibo. Okay, Alibo is still there. Oh, you'll find your way to visit, and all December time. It's a December time we're in, yeah. So you'll always find your way to visit and so forth. So I know you are still connected. Anyway, I'm looking at your thumbnail picture. I know you're still connected. I know that thing is going to be, that Alibo is going to be hard to shake from you. So Jashika one day. Yeah, Jashika. Okay, we have, I think, 12 people right now. Once we get 3 more people, 3 more. Okay, my daughter's awake, so we're about to get some drama. 3 more people, then we're going to go ahead and begin. My daughter is awake, so we're about to get some drama. Hey, mama. It's okay. Are you awake?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Okay, come here, mama. Okay. Once we get, we have hit 15 people. Ise. All right, let's go ahead and begin. My daughter's not feeling too well. My son's not feeling too well. I've been playing nurse, waiting for my own turn to catch whatever is going around. But we are here. I did chat my first one before realizing I'm supposed to talk. I'm not ready to share my voice. Okay. Okay, no problem. I was going to say, I feel like you've contributed something. Anyways, we have hit 15 people. Let us go ahead and begin, okay? Oh, yeah. Okike kerowa. Ala bụ ala. Ala nne mmadụ na nne mmụọ. Ala na-enye ndụ. Na-enye nke ọma dị n'ụwa. Ụmụ gị abịala. Obiọma ka m ji na-ekele ụmụ ndị eke, ndị orie, ndị afọ na ndị nkwọ. Obiọma ka m ji na-ekele ndị mbụ na ndị egede, ndị mmadụ na ndị mmụọ. Ejikwere m obiọma na-ekele eze udo, eze eluigwe, eze anyị ji ama iwu ụwa. Ọ na aha gị ka anyị na-aga. Ejikwere m obiọma na-ekele agụ na-edume ndị nkụzi, agụ na-edume ndị ọma, agụ anyị ji ama ije ụwa anyị. Obiọma ka m ji na-ekele gị. Ejikwere m obiọma na-ekele ndị ọkpụ na ndị ichie, ndị mbụ na ndị egede, ndị mmadụ na ndị mmụọ. Werekwe okwu m n'obi. Jikwa obiọma na-akọta ya otu m jiri obiọma na-asụ ya. Otu a ka ọ ga-adị na eke, na orie, na afọ, na nkwọ. Ise. All right, let us go ahead and begin. Okay, so this is Ask Me Anything for those who are new. I answer any question you have. Once your questions run out, I go. If your questions keep coming, I stay. But I had a topic that I wanted to discuss, right? And the topic is how to increase your luck. I wanted to discuss this topic because there is a ritual that I've been doing, and it is producing incredible results for me. It's probably the reason is probably how I figured out how to have some damn high quality video, right? It's probably the reason I figured out how to have high quality video, right? And I want to share this ritual with you. This ritual helped me increase my luck and will help you increase your luck. I personally built this ritual off of the Igbo proverb. That is, it's a very simple proverb, a very simple ilu that says, Onye mmadụ na-achọ ka ọ ga-afụ. Onye mmadụ na-achọ ka ọ ga-afụ. Meaning, it is what a person seeks that they find. It is what a person seeks that they find. If you guys have an interpretation of this ilu, Onye mmadụ na-achọ ka ọ ga-afụ, go ahead and drop it in the comments, right? Onye mmadụ na-achọ ka ọ ga-afụ is the proverb, which is, it is what a person seeks that they will find. It is what a person seeks that they will find. Now, what does this ilu or proverb have to do with increasing your good luck? Okay. Well, I don't even know. I think this is the camera, right? Yeah. I mean, I know it's the camera, but anyways, yeah. So what does this have to do with increasing your good luck? What I have been doing lately has been tied to this particular ilu, and I think it is, or not, I don't think, I know, I'm very confident in the fact that it has been producing incredible results for me, right? Know that at all times, everything is happening. Yes, Mama? At all times, everything is happening, right? Even in contemporary physics, the what we call reality is based off of what we are capable of and choose to observe or put focus on. But at all times, all options, all things are happening. And this is happening on a cosmic level. This is happening on an individual level, right? Now, what does this mean? At all times, every single day, you will wake up and you will go to bed. And in between both of those things, you will have a string of good luck and you will have a string of bad luck. You'll have both things happening to you at the exact same time. Okay? You will have both things happening to you at the exact same time. And if you are familiar with these things, you begin to realize that they have seeds, they have origins, they have points that they have not fully manifested as a good thing or have not manifested as a bad thing, right? Blood, you okay? Your hands seem full. Yes, my hands are very full. Yeah, so I don't, but I'm okay. I'm more than okay. This is the type of hands being full that makes me happy. So as I was saying, but thank you for asking, Pokemon Master. So as I was saying, at all times you are receiving good luck and bad luck, two streams at all times, right? And as the ilu says, it's what a person seeks that they find, right? Now, based on how you have configured your anya, right? How your eyes, your osenabo, your terrestrial eyes, based on how you have focused your terrestrial eyes, my daughter doesn't like to. My daughter likes to be the one controlling the swinging, the rocking when she's being carried. So that's why all the movement's coming from. So based on the way you have focused your eyes is based on what you will see. Now, both good luck and bad luck have seeds, right? They have good people, bad people, all these things, they have seeds. They have origin points that you can identify if you are familiar with them. They have origin points that you can identify if you are familiar with them, right? So what do I mean by this? If you have dated enough, let's say, the online girlies are talking about narcissists. So let's do narcissists. If you've dated enough narcissistic people, if you have dated maybe 5 narcissistic people, you can start seeing early warning signs of narcissism in a person before you get into the relationship in full. If you have dated abusive people, a string of abusive people, you can start seeing early warning signs that will tell you where this is going to go beforehand, right? And so forth. When you first encounter these things, if you are not familiar with this type of person, they can catch you off guard every single time. But one of the things that allows you to not be caught off guard is that everybody can always see the signs. But if we're not familiar with what the signs are, we don't know what the signs mean or what they manifest into. Okay? Luck functions in the same way. Every single day, you are encountering seeds of good luck, and seeds of bad luck. Right? The problem that a lot of people have is that they are familiar with bad luck, but they're not familiar with good luck. So they're able to see the bad luck, the seeds, sometimes the seeds of the bad luck, once they receive it or once it's in their face. But every single day, hundreds, if not thousands, of seeds of good luck go unwatered, unfertilized, neglected, bypassed. You understand? Okay. So this is a ritual I formed to start being more deliberate in my attainment of good luck. It's a very simple ritual, right? When I go to my altar in the morning, I do the usual, right? I greet my creator, I greet the earth, I greet my ancestors, I greet my Chihuahua, the spirit that guides me and follows me in the world, right? My Agu. I greet the four elements, Eke, Uri, Afo, Nko. And then I tell everybody in attendance, everybody that I've greeted, what kind of day we're about to have, right? I tell them what kind of day we're about to have. And if I ever use the term Ijama, Ije, Oma, good journey, what I will do, and I've started doing this probably about every day, right? I won't say every day because I've missed days, but probably about every day. What I do then is if I ever use the term Ijama, I will take a either a notebook or I'll just open a little notepad on my phone. I'll just call it Ijama. And I will write down every single encounter of good luck I had that day. It's a simple ritual. I know when I said ritual, some people got scared or thought this was going to go in a funny place, but bear with me, right? I will write down every single encounter with good luck I have had that day, right? Because I want to be familiar with good luck the way somebody who, I don't know, has a series of abusive relationships can see early warning signs quicker than the average person, right? Quicker than the average person. Okay. The process of doing this, and it doesn't require big dramatic acts of good luck, right? The first one I ever wrote down was I woke up at 6:40, which is good because I have to get my son at school by 7:20. You okay? Oh, I think she's sick. I have to get my son in school at 7:20. Little stuff. The girl I bought coffee from made good conversation. You okay? It hurts? Okay, I think you're a little sick, okay? I want you to lie down, okay? The girl I got coffee from made good conversation. I found a really nice hoodie at a thrift shop. Little tiny things like that aren't even a big deal, right? Had a good conversation at TJ Maxx. Stuff like that. Remembered that I had an appointment about an hour before the appointment, despite forgetting it for the entire day. Things like that, right? You do this day one, you do this day two, you do this day three, you begin to realize incidents of good luck have these I call them seeds. They have these little things that bypass you in a day. That if you don't stop and acknowledge and water and nurture, it can't become anything because you don't know what it is. It hasn't shown itself to be good luck, right? It hasn't shown itself to be good luck. One of the seeds I noticed is the more social I am, the more good luck I have. Now, why would that happen? Because I'm giving myself more rolls of the dice. I'm giving myself more chances to encounter a good situation, right? I'm giving myself more chances to encounter a good situation. So one of the seeds is just small talking people, having small talk with people, and that kind of thing, right? So this is a ritual I use to increase my luck throughout the day, and it's working great. It's working really good. I've reached a point where I can see where good luck or good encounters, good luck germinate from. The ritual is this: I greet my ancestors, I greet my elements, I greet my forces, and I tell them what kind of day we're about to have. I use the term Ije Oma, which is a good journey, right? And then I write down all evidence of a good journey in a notebook or in on my phone, right? I was originally using a notebook, but I don't want to carry it around anymore, so I just started using my phone, right? And that is my very simple ritual for increasing your good luck. I would like to see some of you guys try it and see if it works for you. Circle back and let me know. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and read some of you guys' questions. It's time to read the questions and comments and so forth. Closed mouths don't get fed. I like that. All right, there we are. Where are we? Ring light, that's what's up. Sun is shining on your face. You look bright and sunny. Yeah. I listened to the group studies past my ears. Okay, I'm trying to find the questions. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask now. Any questions about Odinani? Any questions about Igbo spirituality? Any questions about the ritual I shared? Any questions about luck? Any questions about being more social, right? Any questions about being more social? Go ahead and share it below, okay? Okay, Mama? Okay, good. All right, Ise. Okay, have you read the Congo cosmology, tying the spiritual knots? There's crazy similarities between the 6-point star in Odinani and the Congo cosmogram. Absolutely. The Congo, the people in the Congo are saying the same thing we're saying. They will use different language. They'll use a different cosmic imagination to approach it. But fundamentally, Africans do not believe in belief. Okay? Africans do not believe in belief. Our spiritual systems are based on evidence, experience, and reality. It is only because of the introduction of Eurasian religious models that we try to frame African spiritualities as belief systems. They are not belief systems. They are a description of a given or of a shared reality. Okay? They are a description of a shared reality. There's no obligation to belief in the Congo. There's no obligation to belief in Odinani. There's no obligation to belief in any African spirituality, unless it's been very influenced by Abrahamic religions and that kind of thing. What do I mean by that? We have a proverb in my own culture that says, when an Arushi fails to do what an Arushi is. What's wrong? I'm feeling sick. You're feeling sick? Okay, so sorry, Mama. Okay. I want you to lie down still, okay? So you can take a nap, okay? Give me your hands. Amen now. Good job, Mama. All right. So as I was saying, we have this ilu, this proverb that says, when an Arushi fails to do, I'll get this out of my way. When an Arushi fails to do what an Arushi is supposed to do, we use it for firewood. Now, what is this ilu trying to say? The ilu is saying, okay, first and foremost, an Arushi, you can translate Arushi as shrine. You can translate it as idol. You can translate it as a religious totem, religious object, that kind of thing, a spiritual. You can translate all those different things, but it's really Arushi. None of those translations will give you the full description, right? And Arushi is the source of works, where the works of spirits, where the works of the world beyond what you sense with your 5 senses are channeled, okay? So you can use an Arushi to channel different powers, different forces, different energies in the universe, right? I had somebody in the village, our Patreon community, say that a solar panel is an Arushi. Oh, that person is 100% correct, right? Because a solar panel is a device that channels a natural force, which is Anyanwu, the sun, Nabaraya, the sun's rays, sun's energy, right? That kind of thing. A Wi-Fi receiver is an Arushi. It channels this Abara we know as Wi-Fi, as internet, okay? Right? That kind of thing. You can say that the beads of Afa are an Arushi because they channel Arubinago. They channel Moafa, the spirit of Afa, and allow you to ask questions to the spirit of Afa, right? Then, of course, you have those that channel Nemiri, right? The Abara, that is water. Awa, the Abara, that is earth. Igwe, the Abara, that is sky. All these different devices that channel these things. But the onus of belief is not on you as a person. It's not that I told you that this is an Arashi that channels Amadioha. And if you come here and talk to Amadioha, you can talk to Amadioha. You have to prove to me that this thing really channels Amadioha. We have to both go to this thing and say, okay, may the guilty person be struck by lightning. And if the guilty person is not struck by lightning, then that's okay. And I'm not coming back to you. I'm not coming back to your Arashi. What are you talking about? This doesn't work. You understand, right? Therefore, the ones that people go to most often are the ones that have produced the most results. The ones that people do not go to have not produced results, right? Have not produced results. There are certain communities you'll go to, and the Arashi there is well attended and so forth. And there's communities you go to and there's not. Now, there's many reasons for that, right? But one of the main reasons, other than like church and stuff, is during the Biafra War. People went to these Arashi for one thing or another. And if the people manning the Arashi said that it can do this, it can do that, and like let's say it can make you bulletproof and you go into battle and you get shot, we're not going back there. We're not going back there, right? But some of them will say this one will make you bulletproof and you're bulletproof. Okay, so we're going to go there every time we need to be bulletproof. That's really how it works everywhere. So when it comes to African spirituality, you're going to have a hard time finding anything that's based on this idea of belief or like faith, right? Like you have to just believe it because it's your job to believe it. You understand? It's like science. It is science, right? It is science. Odinani, as it is on the land, not as I feel like it is or as I think it is on the land, as it is on the land. Observation, perspective, cosmology, science, right? Spirit, all that. Okay. So if you see that they're saying one thing in the Congo and they're saying one thing in Igbo land, just know that this is the thing that has stood the test of time. Right? Just know that we're both looking at the sky and saying it's blue. We're talking about what's real. You understand? And that's just our approach to it. If you zoom in on every Abara, it's something natural. It's something that you can let me say, if you zoom in on most Abara, it's something natural, something you can detect with just your five senses. Now, there are senses beyond your five senses. You understand? There are senses beyond your five senses that you need to detect some of the other ones. You understand? My next video is coming out tomorrow morning. The next video is coming out tomorrow morning, and the video is going to be on the third eye, the Ose Aura. I'm dropping the video on the Ose Aura tomorrow morning. And in this video about the Ose Aura, I talk about the fact that, according to Dr. Ume, after God is Dibia, let me find this here. I can't remember which chapter or which volume. After God is Dibia, right? Where are we at, Dr. Ume? In After God is Dibia, Dr. Ume illustrated that the human being has over 365, I think he said was the number, over 365 senses beyond sight or counting the five that we're familiar with. There are over 300 senses, right? And many of these are unlocked by way of accessing your Use Aura, your light eye, your spirit eye, your third eye, So the next video highlights that. I talk about, I think I give 9 ways to open, that'll help you open your Use Aura, like 9 things you can do to help you open your Use Aura. Then I also break down the ancestral, our own specific Igbo ancestral view about the third eye, about the Ose Aura, about the eye of light. And some of the stuff I say in there, you're not going to hear elsewhere, right? The Hindus ain't saying nothing like, you know what I mean? So yeah, the next video is dropping tomorrow morning. It is the Ose Aura, the third eye. That is the next video. Oh, take it easy now. Hold on, wait. I know I need to learn that. Oh, my brother. Okay, cool. I think it just goes back to how humans map the universe and their environment. He said, wonderful. Blood, you have your hands full. It's what a person seeks that they find, meaning, okay, good. I got an interpretation. It's what a person seeks that they find, meaning, what am I doing? What they find. I'm trying to get used to this. I have a new setup, so I'm trying to get used to everything. May mean to know yourself first so that you know what you're looking for. and so forth. He said, wow, good interpretation. Good interpretation. The thing is about Ilu that there's no wrong interpretation of Ilu. Everybody will hear an Ilu and it will tell them something different from the next person. That's one of the reasons I like our group study. Hola, just you have to relax. You have to relax. So there. You have to relax. Don't worry, I'll do it. So that's the reason I like one of the reasons I like, what was I going to say? Our group study is because I'll give an ELU and you'll hear different interpretations from different places. People will bring up things that I didn't even consider or think of, and it's just an incredible experience. So when you hear an ELU, you hear a proverb, give an interpretation. Give an interpretation immediately. We have an ELU that says that a child who cannot interpret ELU, we question their mother's bride price, right? We question the mother's dowry. I think dowry is a better translation. Okay. Udongwanem Kije. I see your beautiful Adeze. How's family? Oh, family as well. And Adeze, Adeze is a little sick. My daughter's a little sick right now. My son is sick as well. Something's going around. Are you okay? Mm. Okay. Are you comfortable? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm done, Mom. Cool. Being more okay, wait. True. Being more social is really being a good salesman. You're selling your qualities by being social. Yeah, no, being social is an incredible, it's an asset. And I think in the world that we live in with technology and everything like that, it's very easy to lose those senses, to lose that capacity to connect, and then to heighten feelings that kind of block you off from being able to do that, such as like toxic anxiety. I'll say toxic anxiety because not all anxiety is bad. Anxiety is a wonderful thing. If you understand the concept of Ekwensu, you'll know that anxiety is a superpower, right? Now, why do I say anxiety is a superpower? Because whenever Chuku says that something should be done, Chuku sends Ekwensu to make sure that the thing is done correctly. The presence of Ekwensu feels like fear, right? Ekwensu is the Abara that is feared by the Abara. You understand? The more that Abara fear. Or I'm sorry, the more that more fear, right? It is the most feared thing in the universe. You understand? And so if Ekwensu is present, there is a feeling of fear. What does this mean? It means that when you are doing the one that your chi sends you to do, it is very often that you will feel a heightened sense, as what we've now classified in the West, probably incorrectly, of anxiety, of nervousness, of fear. But what does that anxiety, nervousness, and fear do? It sinks into your system, right? It sinks into your system so that you do the thing that is giving you that feeling correctly. Okay? So that you do the thing that is giving you that feeling correctly. You'll hear a lot of world-class athletes tell you that when they first enter a game, they're in fear, right? There's a sense of nervousness. You'll see that a lot of like famous performers are actually have extreme social anxiety. There's a correlation there. There's a connection there, right? My brother is a performer. He's performing for some very big stages. The most socially anxious, socially awkward person you'll ever meet, right? But when the camera's on, boom, he's on, right? Because it's the same thing, right? Ekwensu, the spirit of Ekwensu is, and they say that anytime a ritual is being done, Ekwensu watches over the shoulder, right? So that feeling is to assure that the thing is being done correctly. To assure that the thing is being done correctly. So that fear and that anxiety is very necessary for things to be done well. You'll come to find that the most socially graceful people you know also have a lot of anxiety. The most socially graceful people you know also have a lot of anxiety. My wife is a good example. My wife can make friends like it's nobody's business. Unbelievably anxious when it comes to dealing with people, right? We'll go out of her way to make sure she's not in the fray of human beings. But when she's in the mix, she becomes the most popular person in the room, right? And you probably know people like this. You're probably this same person. You're probably this same person, right? That kind of thing. So yeah, I think that, things like social anxiety and so forth, If it stops being the wall in front of your face and instead becomes the wind behind your sail, you'll come to find that you're actually very good socially. I wouldn't say I have social anxiety because I've mastered it. But as a child, when I was younger, I was very anxious when it came to like being social and talking to people and making friends and things like that. Right. And the feeling hasn't gone away, but I don't register it as anxiety anymore. Right. It's just that my spidey senses are kicking in, right? My superpowers are kicking in. And it feels uncomfortable. You ever hit the gas on a car and accelerates like to 90 and 100 and all that stuff? There's a feeling of anxiety, right? Because we're now going into the extraordinary. And when we start doing the extraordinary, that it's our chi that, or it's our chi that's moving through us, right? It's our chi that's doing that for us. So, yeah, try to be as social as possible. Try to be as social as possible. Ijama is my first daughter's name. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. How do you increase your luck? Chia Dozier, so I gave a little speech on increasing your luck. Did you hear what I said? I feel like I'm reading an old comment, right? Question. What do you think about one who dreams a lot of, okay. What do you think about one who dreams a lot of different spiritualists? DBS, Babalawos, Wagons, healers, and so forth. Ima Z, so there's a thing called Uwa'agon. This is a really good question. There's a thing called Uwa'agon. I'll be making a video on Uwa'agon soon, right? And when it comes to this spirit that we know as Agon, right? Agon is almost like a species. Think of Agon as a species of spirits or a species of forces, right? And this species of forces, this thing called we call Agon, right? It has its own world known as Uwa'agon, Uwa'agon. All spiritualists, all Dibyas are members of Uwa'agon, of the world of Agon. You're all members. When I say you are all members of it, you understand. And sometimes, in order for you to know that you are a member of this world, you will have dreams like this. You will have dreams where people in your life who are also a part of that world visit you in dreams. You will have dreams where you may not know, the person may not outright call themselves a Dibia, but when you deal with them or when you listen to them or whatever, it's pretty obvious this is a mystic, some type of mystical person, right? They will come to you in groups. Sometimes they'll come in the form of animals that are connected to Agon. Turtle, dog, snail, pythons, right? Anything double-headed, two-headed, right? So there's an entire world called Uwagon. Dibias belong to Uwagon. When you're initiated to a Dibia, you are accepting, it's like getting your citizenship, right? You're no longer like an illegal immigrant in Uwagon. You're getting your citizenship. You can now stay comfortably and tap into your Dibia powers. When you, like, for example, now at Kedu, we have a traditional medicine class. And one of the things that happens for everybody that joins a traditional medicine class is that you get to be a part of what we call the Utuagon. So this is the worldly manifestation of Uwagon. All Dibias back home are a part of an Utuagon group, meaning that all of the Dibias in a community are in a union with each other. They're in a union. And what happens with this union on like a human level is sometimes you'll get a patient and you don't know how to deal with them. So you'll go to somebody, another Dibia, and they'll tell you, oh, when this happens, I do this and it works. Right? So sometimes your Dibia, you'll go to a Dibia and they'll have an answer for you, but the answer came from another Dibia. You understand? It's normal. They'll gather money together to raise funds for each other's healthcare, send each other's kids to school or apprenticeships or that kind of thing, and so forth. It's a collective on the human level. This also exists spiritually. Once you are in your power and you understand your power well enough, you will be able to communicate, you'll be able to navigate your dreams more readily and more easily, and you can ask those babalawos and so forth the questions you need to ask them, if you need to ask questions with them. You can have the conversations you need to have with them and so forth, right? And begin now sharing what they shared with you with people because you're a part of their world. Their secrets are not secrets to you. You understand? You're one of their members. You're one of them, right? So let me see here. Is it true that to create wealth, your chi goes first and creates a spiritual world and manifests in the physical? Yes. There's an ilu that says, "Ihe ọbụla e mere na mmadụ buru ụzọ mee na mmụọ. Ihe ọbụla e mere na mmadụ buru ụzọ mee na mmụọ." If you want to time travel, become a spiritually inclined, spiritually aware person. Because whatever that ilu says, whatever happens in the physical first happens in spirit. And oftentimes the battle needs to be had in spirit because the physical is a reflection. I'm actually gonna have this be the discussion of our next group study on Patreon. So if you're interested in being a part of our community, the village on Patreon, join patreon.com/medicine shell. I have it tagged up top, right? And so think about when you go to a mirror, right? Think about when you go to the mirror, and my daughter's like pinching my side. Hola, chill. So think about when you go to a mirror and you put something on your head, right? Maybe you put a sticker, a post-it on your head. It wouldn't make too much sense to try to take the post-it off of your reflection by reaching into the reflection and pulling the post-it off, right? You actually have to go to where the post-it was first placed, which was on your actual physical head, okay? So try to visualize the spiritual more like the actual you and model like the reflection, okay? More actual you, model reflection. Whatever it is you're trying to change or do, or you're trying to build wealth, you're trying to do you have to do the work in more first. You have to do the work in more first. This is why our ancestors went to their altar as the sun rose. It was the first thing in the day they did. As the sun rose, you go to your altar, right? Then you start your day. Let me calibrate this day in more spiritually first, and then go operate in person, right? You see, with my Ijama ritual, it's not that I went out there and started looking for good luck and then came back to my altar and said something. I said to my altar, we're going to have Ijama. We're going to have a good journey today. We are going to have a good journey today. We don't beg spirit, and as far as Igbo people, Odinani people, we don't beg spirit. We're not yearning. We're not please God, please, right? We're saying, hey, this is what it's about to be. This is where we're about to go. This is what we're about to experience and see and gain and sacrifice and learn. Okay? And then we operate and we tell them to follow us. Come with me. Come with me as I do this. Come with me as I manifest this. But you calibrate, you program, you write it first in spirit. Right? You write it first in spirit, and then you operate in person. You do it in person. Right? So there's many ways you can do something. So as you're saying, I think Imazi asked about if you want wealth, you have to go to your chief first. Absolutely, right? You have to go to your chief first and say, hey, this is where we're going to be at the end of the year. This is where we're going to go. There's an ilu that Ndibo have that says, onye ekwe, chi ekwe. What you will, your chi wills. But the onye is the you, and that comes first. That came first in that particular ilu. So consider that way. Evidence, experience, and reality speak truth, he said. What advice would you give certain men who have extremely high sexual drives? What we can do with that energy rather than wasting it, cool, on random women. Okay, cool. How can one be more productive with that energy? So there's a part of you as a man known as your ikenga. This is your masculine energy. This is, in fact, what the Ikenga is understood as what your chi gives you to do what your chi brought you into the world to do. Your Ikenga is specifically here to win, to win, to win. It is the winning energy, right? It is the winning energy. And oftentimes, when we have blockages in our spirit and in our thinking and in our understanding of ourself in the world, instead of seeking the wins that we were brought to win in the world, we start reaching for the wins that seem accessible and that come with the least amount of stress. This is where addictions come from. This is where even this idea of like chasing women because of a sex drive. I mean, kinda. But once it becomes a problem, it has nothing to do with a sex drive. There's something in there, right? There's something in there. This is a crazy conversation I have with my daughter here. But there's something in that act or in that pursuit that has nothing to do with the actual act or your wants. There's something else that you're trying to prove or get a hold of. And that is an easy, accessible way to get a hold of that thing, right? I think part of the issue, this is personal opinion, is being in love with the idea of things being easy and things coming quickly and so forth. Being in love with that idea, because once you're locked into this convenience, this obsession with convenience, right? This obsession with convenience, all of a sudden the things that mean something in life, the things that are difficult, the things that require waiting, the things that require you to hold off on your desire while you do XYZ and so forth, the things that are rewarding, the things that you will be able to share with your children or your friends and family that you did, or share with yourself that you were able to do, all of those things require extended periods of patience and discipline, right? But that, for some people, there's a fixation with convenience. That fixation with convenience keeps a lot of people from their destiny. And sometimes the desire, I don't even, it has nothing to do with the woman. Trust me, it has nothing to do with the woman. It's something about there's an idea you have linked to that concept and act, and that idea is unbelievably important. And it might be important it's important for a good reason, but you've linked it there because that's your most convenient way of getting a hold of that important thing. Some people do that for validation, so they can feel like I'm a man now, right? Some people do that so that the feeling of, same thing, validation, the same thing of a woman wanting them or giving them attention is rewarding, right? But it's a convenient reward. It's convenient, you know, and it's not you don't have to win a Nobel Prize to get clapped for. You don't have to run a marathon, that kind of thing, right? You just gotta get her a goddamn Red Lobster, take her to whatever. And I mean, so it's gotten to the point where if you have that thing, right? If you have that thing that you want and you're seeking it in convenient places, you're going to seek it in more and more and more convenient places, right? Is the convenience is always going to win. And so now, allegedly, I don't think this is true, but allegedly, younger people aren't even trying to date anymore. It's too much work, right? Allegedly, I don't think it's true, but allegedly, right? Some of you who are maybe younger can let me know. They're saying that the dating apps are not working for everybody, right? They're not working for everybody. And people have now found ways to get that artificial validation from the opposite sex in other ways, right? Digitally, so forth, right? So I hope what I'm saying makes sense. You figure out what it is you're seeking in between an individual's legs, and just know that that's not where it's found, right? Just know that's not where it's found. Also, learn to sit in your desire. Learn to sit in your desire. You understand? Learn to sit in it and live in it and operate in it. It's not we always think things like want, desire, incompletion are problems to be solved, and they have to be solved quickly and immediately. It's a very modern way of thinking. All right. But sometimes, I can't say too much to my daughters here, but sometimes wanting somebody is why you're going to wake up on time for work. Now, it's hard to see where the connection is, but it's just what it is, because you're sitting in that desire. You're at your best in that desire, right? Periods of fasting, periods of abstinence, so on and so forth. Nobody ever walks out of it and says that they're a worse person at the end. So learn to sit in your desire. Learn to be hungry. Because sometimes if I need to give this speech and I'm a little hungry, I give the speech better, right? Learn to sit in your desire. That's where your power comes from. The Ikenga is the number of the Ikenga is the number 3. Ato 3 is 3, right? In Igbo numerology, 4 is completion. 4 is completion, right? 4 means 4 is completion, okay? 3 is the Ikenga number. Why is 3 the Ikenga number? Because 3 is incomplete. 3 is incomplete. 3 seeks to be completed by connecting to 4. Because it is seeking to be connected, it is electric, it is kinetic, it is alive, it has movement, it has strength, it has gravity, okay? You hold one magnet, you put another magnet next to it. Because the two charges are looking to complete each other, boom, they come next to each other. There's a kinetic charge, there's a movement, right? It's desire and wanting things that allows you to actualize big, good, great things. Okay? So the ekwensu comes as anxiety, which we always try to solve that problem. I want to solve this problem. Okay, let me drink this. Let me smoke this. Let me not do it. Let me avoid it. Let me sleep. Let me go argue on the internet, right? That was that kind of thing. We want to solve these. So we're fighting off this superpower 1. Superpower 2 is the Ikenga, which can be tied to desire, wanting, right? Wanting, that thing that charges you, the gas in your tank that makes you go. All right? That kind of thing. But we also treat wanting and desire in this particular culture as a problem, not Igbo culture, but like Western, as a problem that needs to be solved. As a problem that needs to be solved. Meanwhile, both of those problems you need to solve are actually just ingredients for your greatness. But you're every time they start arising, you squash them, right? Every time you start feeling a drop of testosterone run through your body, you run straight to the hub. Anytime you feel a drop of testosterone in your body, you run straight to this one and straight to this one. You're on IG scrolling scrolling the girlies, right? That kind of thing. You feel 2 drops, now you want to run to the club and go find somebody. But what if you just sit in it and get 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops? You know? A gallon. What if you just sit in it and charge up? What if you stop unplugging your phone every time it's on 2%? That's what I mean by the desire thing. I don't think it has anything to do with I don't think it's like a high desire. I don't think it's just you keep unplugging your phone at 2%. You keep unplugging your phone at 2%, then you need to go charge it again. Then you need to go charge it again. Let that thing sit to 100%, right? Then go to the YMCA and see how good you hoop. See how good your jump shot is. You understand? Right? Finish that book you keep talking about. Finish that manga you keep talking about. Right? Take that class you've been trying to take. Finish that degree you've been trying to take. Sit in it. You understand? Do you know what's funny? When I was learning Alpha, I always tell, I not always, but I've been telling the story lately about when I was like, this summer I was learning Alpha, how to do divination. And when I was learning the divination, everything I'm sharing with you right now, Alpha told me. Can you believe that? The shells told me. Alpha told me. Well, I use a coin, so the coin told me. Right? Can you believe that? That's what it was the strangest read I ever got. I would just look at it forever like, what the hell? And then I just kept thinking about it, and then this whole chain of thought came, right? And then I started, making changes and thinking differently and so on and so forth. So learn to sit in your desire. Learn the power of wanting something. Learn how much quicker and sharper you are when you're hungry. You understand? I'm at my sharp. You can, if I'm hungry and something, boom, I catch it immediately. If I'm full, I'm just laughing and giggling and I'm not as sharp, right? I'm not saying go starve yourself, but I'm saying that not everything we have classified as a bad feeling or an uncomfortable feeling or a longing or a wanting is a problem that needs to be solved immediately. Quit unplugging your phone at 2%. Okay? I'll do them. All right, so back to the questions. Nemise. All right. Black mystery. Yes, the black sciences. It's so funny. Our Caucasian neighbors are so funny too. They'll tell you that Kemet means the black because the soil was black. Meanwhile, the soil is like bright peach. There's not a drop of black soil in the whole of Egypt. And they'll tell you, oh, the Kemet was referring to the soil. It's like, man, shut your ass up, you know? They were trying to put themselves over. Uh, can we learn to open it through you, how to open the third eye? So my next video is the Oseara. I give some tips on how to open it and so on and so forth. But if you guys want me to go way more in depth on how to do that and really just give you some rituals and things like that, I'm completely ready for that, right? I am completely ready for that. So I'm trying to think of the form by which I'm going to do it. Our traditional medicine class, funny enough, we have a DBA that teaches it. So let me just give you that. We have a DBA that teaches our traditional medicine class, and one of the things you have to do, as we say in our culture, is you have to make ne agon, and na agon face each other. And that is the process of opening your third eye. So we teach how to do it in the traditional medicine class. Let me put the link for that. Traditional medicine class is kedu.me. Click orange button at the top. Okay. I think it should be open right now for people to sign up for the next session. If it is not, let me know. Or if you join Patreon at the highest tier, then you're automatically in there. You can walk in if you want. Or it's optional. It's not like if you're at the highest tier, you have to take that class. But our traditional medicine class teaches how to open the third eye. I also wrote a textbook that has little instructions and things like that. Not little, big instructions, you know. Oh, mama, I'm introverted. People make me tired, awkward. But I used to love singing. I don't mind. It's okay. Yeah, and some people are. I'm even wondering about this introvert extrovert thing. I'm even wondering about it. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's obviously something real is being measured. But so I'm kind of hesitant to use some labels, right? I'm hesitant. Because I feel like for a while I was calling myself an introvert, and I think it was making it worse. Right? And I was saying it based off of who I was when I was like 12 and 13, not even 14, right? When I was younger, I used to be very, very, very introverted, right? If you didn't come up to me to make friends, we weren't. I wasn't gonna have any friends, right? So luckily, people would come up to me and do that, and that was good for me. And my grades were very bad in middle school, and so my parents thought I was goofing off too much, which wasn't the case whatsoever. And they made me go to a school where I didn't know anybody so that I can focus on my schoolwork, right? Which was horrifying for somebody who was an introvert, right? It was horrifying. The first period of that school, the teacher said that if you don't have a locker partner, because you had to have a locker partner, again, I didn't know anybody. If you don't have a locker partner already, you have to pick somebody in your first period class. It's like, well, I'm not gonna have a locker then. For the entire year, and this is in the Midwest, so it snows. For the entire year, I was carrying every book I owned on my back and wearing a winter coat, right? Miserable ass experience, horrible experience. But when I was there, I finally said, you know what? I can't keep living like this. Like, I can't keep doing this, right? I think I was like maybe 13 or 14. I don't know. I can't keep being like this. This is not going to work. So I just started talking and I started joking with people and I started just doing whatever. And then, since then, I don't know if I've been an introvert, but I've been calling myself an introvert for years because that's who I identified myself as. And it was kind of making the situation worse. Like it was coming back. I don't know how to explain it, you know? But I just figured out it was a choice thing. It's a matter of choice. Now, do I have a social battery that gets drained with too much interaction? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like too much stimulus is hard for me too. Like I hope I'm making sense in this live, but the fact that there's lights in my face and a screen that shows what I'm doing, this shit's driving me crazy. Like I can't, it's driving me nuts, right? It's completely driving me insane, right? And that kind of thing. Like I can't, I'm overstimulated. Like right now I'm very overstimulated, right? But I'll soldier through it, that kind of thing. But I get overstimulated very easy, and I think that's closer to why I don't like dealing with too many people at a time, right? But I also don't like being alone, right? And I also, even though I have a shorter than average social battery, I enjoy myself while it's on. So I don't know. I try not to use those labels because I feel like it was making it worse. Uh, How do I heal my ancestral bloodline? Okay, Logi bless. So this we call this one ask me almost anything. That almost is very important because I'm tired of you guys, not you guys, some of y'all coming here with this ancestral curse BS. So please, is your question related to some kind of ancestral curse where for some reason you're the only person with enough sense to not have? Or do you have more specifics as to healing your bloodline, right? I get so many people asking me to how do they recover from descending from bullshit people, which is essentially what they're saying, that I begin to wonder, is this really a thing, or is this something else going on in the head? Were you told this, right? Is this, I don't, or I don't know. Okay, I have an epic rant about that, but the words are just swimming in my head right now. Right? It's gonna be word salad right now, like as I'm talking now. But I'm starting to wonder. I've been well, not starting for a while. I've been really wondering about why I get so many questions about like ancestral curses, curses of the father, all this curse, but healing my bloodline, ooh, all this stuff, right? I'm going to bet 9 out of 10 of you come from phenomenal ass people. Oh, but this one drank. Oh, but this one didn't raise their kids. Oh, again, I'm gonna 9 out of 10 of you come from phenomenal ass people, right? And we have to let go of this idea of our ancestors somehow having curses. I don't know who's going around cursing everybody's ancestors, having these dumbass curses, or people's, like we let's stop grading our families, okay? Let's stop grading our families. We're not in school anymore. If your family doesn't get an A, it doesn't mean you're cursed, right? The kids that get D's are great people too, right? So if you come from a family that you graded as a D, you graded as an F, one, stop grading them. Two, people that get D's and F's are good people too, right? And I don't think they're cursed. So if you give me more details on this healing your bloodline thing, that would be good. That would be cool. If you have a lot of issues in your family, just know our ancestors say that family is like arthritis, right? And the Elu says, I'm trying to remember how to say it, but the Elu says family is like arthritis. It hurts, and the older you get, the more you feel it, right? So interpret that how you want to. I have my interpretation of it, and it tells me to not grade my family. All right, where are we at? The spiritual controls the physical, he said. This makes so much sense. What are the pros and cons of one whose grandfather passes away they were close with? Example, father's father, okay? What spiritual benefits are there now? Well, okay, so if your grandfather passed away, um, there in my own culture, we don't mourn the death of a grandparent, right? We don't mourn the death of somebody who was able to have kids. And the reason we don't do that is because they went when their chief said they should go, first and foremost. And two, death is a part of life, just like losing your first teeth. and so forth. And then death is not the end of a person. So what happens, most African funerals look like most African birthday parties. Okay? Most African funerals look like, at least in the black parts of Africa, right? Most black African funerals look like black African birthday parties. So we're celebrating that person. It's so funny. You see this in the American South too. A lot of this survived in the American South. I remember when they said that they took Shawty Low, the rapper, they took his casket to a strip club because that's the strip club he liked to go to while he was alive. I don't know if this was a true story, but I know I've seen funerals in like Louisiana and that kind of thing, and they have a they're not completely celebratory, but the music is upbeat. They have like a we're gonna eat and celebrate this person's life, that kind of thing, right? That Shawty Low thing is a very African way of seeing burial, funeral, right? It's a very African way. I mean, I don't I don't know if anybody's taking it that far, but they used to do this thing in my own culture where people would come and visit the dead body in their bed, just dressed like the normal person, that kind of thing, right? And so yeah, that's not the end of that person. What I will do is keep an eye on the children that are going to be born coming, like in the next few years or next few days or next few months, because your grandfather will be returning. Your grandfather will be returning. And keep an eye on the children that are born. People typically come back as the same gender. There are exceptions. So, of the young boys that are born, you may need to name them Nnamdi or Nana, right? Which means grandfather and my father lives, right? That kind of thing. So the process of reincarnation, and don't just you reach a point as you grow. You reach a point as you grow as a person where hopefully you begin to accept death as just a normal part of the living process, right? So I don't mourn when I was younger and losing teeth. I didn't mourn the teeth. When you start growing hair beyond your head, you don't mourn it, you know, that kind of thing. And so you shouldn't really mourn a death, if that makes sense. It's just a part of the process, right? It's a part of the process. But your grandfather's on his way back. Um, and then what we do in my own culture is whatever affection you have for your grandfather, you transfer over to the newborn child that will come, or the return of him, the returning grandfather, right? To the returning grandfather. You understand? So, I love, like, for example, my daughter here. I told a story on my channel about how my grand aunt healed my brother's leg. My brother was supposed to be in a wheelchair, right? He was supposed to be in a wheelchair. She healed his leg. She, in collaboration with her husband, they both healed my brother's leg and got him to walk using traditional methods and medicine entirely. And she came back. We went to get a reading, and she came back as this girl right here, right? She came back as this girl right here. So, one, she's my daughter, but two, I also have a level of gratitude to her from the previous life for that. I also believe she chose to come into my family because I shared this story and I celebrated her on my channel years after she did the thing, right? Because it was unusual. Everybody's like, yeah, we don't know why. That's kind of strange that, but it's the Afa says it's De Akumbo, right? My grand aunt. The Afa says it's De Akumbo, that kind of thing. But I knew why. I knew. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I just got done talking about her. I talked about her a few years ago, that kind of thing. I shared her story with people around the world and so forth. So this is her. She's back, right? She's back. And so that gratitude I had for her for healing my brother's leg, I transfer over. I don't think I've told him that this is her, by the way. I don't think I've told. I need to tell him, right? But what we do is we take that and we transfer over, because a lot of what mourning is, a lot of what mourning a dead person is the thing you feel about them or the thing that you have together. You can't. 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 project that out anymore in the Western way of thinking, right? You can't project that out anymore. You can't give it to that person anymore, right? But you can, right? So there are people where you go back in the village and like an old woman will just show up with a pot of food and be calling you her husband. Be like, oh, my husband, you've come back, blah, blah, blah. I cooked you this, and then be talking to you like her husband. And you're like, okay, thank you. You take the food and she's happy she got to cook for her husband again, right? Because those are the things, those are things like that are the roots of mourning. They're at the roots of mourning. Is not being able to, that thing you have inside of you for a person, you can't try. Even if it's hate, you hate somebody, you want to beat, and then they. I don't know if you guys have seen CB4. You guys see the movie CB4 where they go to like somebody's funeral, and I think it's the guy that played Pootie Tang. And he goes like, they're all walking up to the dead person, they're crying. And he goes up to, he's like, I want my money, Bob, and he punches the corpse. Give my money. Then he walks away. Yeah, even if it's hate, is that thing we have inside that we want to project out. It requires another person. And if it's a parcel, if it's a gift for that specific person and they pass away, or if it's something that you're just used to, a part of your spirit used to sharing with that person, then that's part of the mourning process. It kills you a little bit on the inside too, to lose that flow if that dam is blocked by a false idea of death, right? But one, our ancestors, we don't see our ancestors as people who are no longer in our lives, right? That's what knowing your ancestors is. That's what communicating with your ancestors is all about. When I talk about ancestors, I said this the other day, and I think I need to emphasize it more. When we talk about ancestors, we're not talking about the past. Okay? When we're talking about ancestors, we're not talking about the past. We're talking about something that is current, something that is present, something that is now. Okay? And so when a person has just changed form. They were in the form of a baby, they became a toddler, they became a preteen, they became a teen, they changed form into an adult, they changed form into an elder, they changed form into an ancestor, right? Change form back into a child, and so on and so forth. They're just changing form. That's all it is. So we're not talking about the past. You understand? So yeah, it's time to start calling that man's name at your altar. It's time to pay attention within your extended family at the young boys that are born. We do have a DBA that we work with on Patreon. So if you guys have like a child that's born and you want to figure out who they incarnate from, you can use Alpha, a divination, to figure that out, right? I need to start doing the Alpha. I can do it. My next video. So my next video is coming out tomorrow morning. My next video is coming out tomorrow morning. It's on the third eye. And in it, I give an example of how Alpha works and the language and that kind of thing, right? And so forth. But yeah. So you can use Alpha to figure out who that is. One of the simpler ways okay, this is a controversial one, but I believe it. They say that the mother always knows. The mother will either have dreams or she'll just have a general feeling. And people say, no, that's not true. But I think that's true. So, but of course, maybe the mother's belief systems or whatever doesn't match what we're talking about. So that can be a hindrance. But either way, pay attention to them. You'll start seeing his mannerisms come out in a little young man in the family, right? And I mean, hopefully it's not like the CB4 thing I described where he owes you money and you want to beat his ass, right? But if you and that grandfather used to fish together, when that kid is old enough, hey, let's go fishing, right? Assuming you're not a weird uncle, which I'm sure you're not, right? Let's go fishing, that kind of thing. See how that pans out, Maybe your grandfather liked smoking black and milds, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I spent a lot of time on this answer because it was a good question, so thank you for that. Hold on. Assign to them. They're not detrimental, okay? Which is, hey guys, traditional medicine. Okay, cool. All right. Wow, that was great. Thank you. There is really no such a thing as an introvert or an extrovert. It's a Western social explanation on who's the loudest in the room. Interesting. Truth is, one may express more in music, art, healing form. Yeah. So okay. So I said that I'm looking at this introvert extrovert thing because one, it just seems too simple and that kind of thing. But another thing is, it's not really universal, right? It's not really universal. I am more introverted in certain environments than in others, right? In certain environments than in others. With like my age mates, I'm more introverted than I am with like old people, elders, right? Um, and even at that, I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to keep saying I'm introverted. I'm really not introverted anymore, right? I don't get the shakes or nothing about people. I'm not phased by it because I let go of the idea, right? And then, yeah, is this a measurement of who's the loudest in the room? Because, like I was saying earlier, my wife doesn't like if I bring up when I bring her up on the channel. But if you're in a room with my wife, you'd think that she was super extroverted, but she did like she says it's a panic response. Right? It's a panic response from her, that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think that I do believe in the idea of a social battery. Whenever like I would be at parties and things like that, I would often have to go outside and just like breathe a little bit, right? I'd often go into my car for a solid 15 minutes and come back. Or even like the goodbye process, I always do like what they call the Irish goodbye, where I just sneak out, right? So, what were the questions asked, Derek? All smiles be quite a few questions were asked. So if you got some, come ask. Oh man. So quite a few questions were asked. So if you got them, come ask. Otherwise, yeah, I still daydream. Of them never went away from me. Mike slowed down in college because I was more responsible and worried about flunking. Interesting. Focus, concentration. Yes. Thanks for the ancestral explanations. They've lived their lives the best of their abilities. Whatever I'll say stays with them. They made stays with. Okay, cool. Urenna. Remember that the American black woman who was criticized for burying her mom in her backyard. Meanwhile, it's fine with me, an Igbo woman. They used to bury. I mean, yeah, they used to bury people in their bedroom. Yeah. Urenna, thanks for that example, and I'm happy to see you here. Yeah, they used to, in my culture, you're actually supposed to bury somebody in their house. You understand? You're supposed to bury somebody in their house. So when we talk about visiting your ancestors, that shit was really literal. Like they're right there. If it's not in the house, then maybe like on the same compound or around it, right? In my own family, that's how we bury. We bury people within their compound and so forth. You know what I mean? We bury people within there, but we don't have like graveyards or grave sites. And I hope that idea can never spread. I don't think it can spread into our region, right? And that kind of thing. If somebody's buried at a graveyard, it's usually a sign that maybe it was an unidentified body or something, right? That kind of thing. So, but yeah, they got mad at this woman for burying somebody in there. But America's funny. America's a funny place. They do that because they don't want you to have a spiritual tie to the real estate, right? That creates indigeneity. Or let me not say it creates indigeneity, but it creates that connection that an indigene typically has to a land. Because I'm not buying a land with some dead ass body on it, right? I'm not buying a house with somebody's dead wife in the backyard. You understand? But it's way easier to keep that land within a family if that's been done. It's way easier to keep that land within a family if that's been done. So America finds its ways around that to make sure that people don't do that and that kind of thing. And, outrage, maybe some laws, that kind of thing. So can women break Oji in Odinani? Women do not break Oji if there's men present. Women can break Aji themselves, but typically what like married women will do is they'll do their thing and they'll take the Aji to their husband to break. And then in a meeting of women, the eldest woman in the room breaks Aji. If a woman has seen menopause, she can break Aji. Or let me take it back. If a titled woman has seen menopause, she can break Aji. If a titled woman has seen menopause, she can break Aji wherever and whenever. Okay. Hello, may I ask a question? What is the spiritual connection between palm wine? Oh, such a good question. My concept, and the reason I asked this is I said this is because I came to a realization, and I'm currently researching the traditional Igbo wedding because there's something I've realized about that palm wine. So the palm represents a message from Chukwu Okike Abiyama, from God, from the Creator. The palm represents a message from the Creator. The palm represents the messenger of the Creator, which is Anyanwu, the sun. Anyanwu, the sun. Okay? And so the palm and everything that comes from it represents a divine gift, a divine message, a something that came from God and was given to somebody else, right? God giving you something nice, God blessing you, right? So this manifests in Igbo culture where traditionally if somebody is walking on like if somebody's walking on a path with like a palm holding palm leaves, they can't be attacked, harassed, taxed. You can't. They used to have taxes on roads, on like walkways. Like if you're crossing communities, you pay a levy back in the pre-colonial times. But you couldn't tax somebody that was walking with a palm branch, right? Typically, the people that would walk with the palm branch would be usu, ndi usu, who are messengers of the Arushi, or message carriers of the Arushi, or Aro people who are also messengers of the Arushi, of the Abara, right? And that kind of thing. And so, as I was making my last video, because I was giving different symbols for Uche, for divine wisdom, and one of them was the palm. And I was like, wait, if you look at the traditional wedding, she takes palm wine and then she goes and finds the husband and then gives it to the husband and so forth, right? So palm wine, all that stuff represents a gift from the creator. Onyinye, a gift, right? A gift. So the wife is a gift to the husband from the creator, right? A blessing to the husband, a blessing to the home, a blessing to her new community. I also think that theory, I'm still researching it, that she's using it to show that she's coming into her new community in peace. I'm coming in peace, because that's what carrying the palm meant back in the day. I'm coming in peace, right? So yeah, it was a thought that I was having recently. So my concept, I'm glad you brought that up. Oh, we got two Daria. We got two Daria references talking back and forth. That's what's up. We got Daria, and I can't remember the black girl's name. Well, yeah, everyone is introverted or extrovert depending on the environment, situation. Best way it goes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think that I realized calling myself an introvert was limiting me, and I was defining myself based on who I was as a child. So I don't know. I'm just me now, right? I also don't do like, oh, autism, ADHD. You guys can do that's fine. But for me, I'm just whatever the hell I am. And they don't have cures for this shit either. So it's not like me saying I'm this or I'm that is gonna make it like go one way or another. So I'm just me, right? So I'm in the process of knowing who I am better and being better at being me. So whatever fucking name they got for it, cool. But I got my own too. John Ndewo. Okay, hold on. Oh, before we get to your heavy ass question, let's go up. Why do I see myself in secondary school? I graduated 2009. I saw myself in the same school union inside a class. Can you please explain to me? So I'm not a dream reader. Like I can't read dreams. I don't read dreams. But anywhere you've been, a piece of your moi is still there, a piece of your spirit. And so in dream, we can return to all these places in dream and in different forms. But dream is the one most accessible to most people. So What I can tell you is that a part of you is still in that room, and you can always return to that place at any time. I can't tell you the intricacies of what that means. We do have a DBA on Patreon if you're interested in speaking to him. Join patreon.com/TheMedicineShell. I have the link tagged up top. So, let's talk about Okeite. Okeite is the most diabolical thing I've ever heard of in my life. Okeite is the most diabolical thing I've ever heard of in my goddamn life. It is just high level diabolical stupidity. So I don't think they're ready yet for that kind of conversation. It's heavy. But yeah, that's for psychos. That type of stuff is for psychos. So is it necessary to make a sacrifice on the market day I was born? Um uh I don't, what do you mean by necessary? Like, will you go to like the Odinani jail if you don't do the necessary thing? If you want to make a sacrifice, know why you're making the sacrifice. Nobody's It's not okay. Don't do anything pertaining to Odinani out of fear. Okay? Don't do it out of there's no such a thing as compulsion and fear. If you meet like an old traditional man, they're not jittery people. This is not somebody who's waking up thinking, "Oh, if I don't do this, the this Abara is going to do that, or if I don't give a sacrifice on that day, that bad thing's gonna happen." Like you're not gonna go talk to the Obi of one Chinese saying shit like that, right? You're not going to talk to Pete Doce and he's saying stuff like that, right? You're not going to talk to all these heavy traditional guys and they're saying things like that. You understand, right? You're not going to. I'm saying the women. My bad for being exclusive, right? You're not going to talk to the Almo or any of the Almo and Anyocha and they're behaving like that. They're firm. They're firm. There's nothing in Odinani like necessary to do blah 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 blah, right? Is it necessary in science to mix plutonium with uranium? I don't know. If you want to, if that sacrifice is tied to whatever your objective is, put your objective first and figure out what's necessary to make that objective happen. But there's no compulsion. You don't have to be sacrificing on any day. It doesn't matter. That's not the point, right? The devil isn't going to punish you if you don't do the Igbo Bible correctly, right? That thought pattern is coming from the Middle East. That's a Middle Eastern way of thinking, right? You're fine. Nothing's gonna happen to you. So if you want to sacrifice on your market day, that's fine. You can do that. If But you don't have the necessary is the word that necessity is the word that I take. I take. I don't even know the word. There's the word that I'm kind of side eyeing, right? It's not. It's not by compulsion. What are you sacrificing? What do you need to do? What is the sacrifice for? That's what's more important, right? That's what's more important. What's the sacrifice for? Right? Put the objective first. Okay. But there's no necessity. It's not like if you don't give sacrifices, you go to emo hell, right? Right? It's not like the Igbo devil is gonna beat you up, whatever the hell the Christians say, you know. So no, you don't. You don't need to be. I mean, but if there's something specific and it requires sacrifice, sure, it's not a bad thing. I don't know. What is the year in our calendar? China is 4722. China is 26, or Ethiopia is 2016. Western is 2014. Ours must be older. I found an elder that can tell me this. I haven't found an elder yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I haven't found anybody that can tell me either. What I was told was we didn't count years. We didn't count years. There's this old thing in our culture where you count things that you're anticipating to end. The reason you count something is to reach the end. So if I have 5 grains of rice, I'm counting those grains of rice to finally get to say 5 to reach the end, right? So I don't know if there's some kind of belief or whatever that made that happen. But one of the reasons that there was an Aba women's riot was because it wasn't just the taxing of the women. They also didn't want to count their wealth and their livestock and their children because they had to do a census. The census was actually what first pissed people off because they said, okay, the British said we're going to bring a census, and they said we don't count our livestock and children in this culture, right? And they said, well, you got to do it anyway, and they're like, well, we're not going to do it, right? So then they said, okay, well, if you're not going to count it, you're still going to have to pay the tax because the census leads to a tax. You still have to pay the tax anyway. And then they're like, over my dead body. And then that's where the riots came from. So I don't know if it's tied to that, but I haven't found anything either. The one I found was like 10 something something, but I don't know. I don't know. That could just be the internet, right? That could just be the internet. But I don't know what year it is in the Igbo calendar. I would love to figure out. I would also assume that most communities had a different year, right? Most communities probably had a different year. All of those calendars, the reason they're uniformed over a large area is because they're empires that forced everybody to say, this is the year. And we never had that. We never had like a one overarching controller, right? But I will look into it and I'll try to figure out what year it is in the Igbo calendar or in one of the Igbo calendars, and I'll try to share that, right? I don't know. Yes, so is the reason that you're mentioned pour wine for ancestors. Yeah, also a big part of sacrificing and giving is allowing your ancestors to partake in what you're partaking in. So if you're having a drink, you give them a drink. You pour that's libations and so forth. That's one of the reasons, right? So if I'm eating, I'm going to save you a plate. I'm going to make you a plate too, right? Because when they were alive, if they're in your house, you're going to feed them, right? There's no such a thing as I cooked rice. I'm going to sit down and just be eating it while my visiting parents are just there watching me. In fact, I'm going to give them theirs a plate before I eat my own, right? In our own culture, right? So it's the same thing with ancestors. That's why we give them things. That's why we sacrifice, right? Another one is just as acknowledgement, thanks, and so forth, to repair, to open, to clear the road between you and them, to fix the relationship, right? So those are some of the reasons why like libations, like all those things are done. It's the same thing as offering somebody a drink. Like, hey, would you want? Okay, thanks for coming. You want something to drink? All right, I got this. I got that. I got this. I got that. Right, that kind of thing. I have a good friend who is a part of one of the royal families somewhere in Anambra, and I think specifically Obusi. And he said that there's this box in his family that he inherited recently, and that box has these bottles of alcohol from like the early 19 late 1800s that he himself went and checked it out, and that they're worth tens and thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars, right? And so he's like, oh, I can sell this and make a lot. That's what came to his mind. Then he realized that those drinks were they were a blueprint. They were an instruction manual. And it was his ancestors saying, these are the ones we like. These are the ones we respond to. Right? These are the ones we like. These are the ones we respond to. So instead of him selling it, he keeps it, and then he went and got, the modern versions of them, and he uses it in his altar. But this was before he was a Nodinani person. He just was like, what the hell? Like, he thought it was just like an heirloom, like a family heirloom, right? Like that kind of thing. But yeah, we give them because we're, the same reason you give somebody a drink. But palm wine, then these drinks now have their meanings, right? Like you're saying in your what you're asking, right? And palm, anything connected with the palm is divine message, peace, godly, that kind of thing. I don't know. Elaborates on it, okay? John, it sounds like you got some plans, man. John, it sounds like you got a plan. Hey, God. No, I'm not gonna elaborate. No, we're not ready for okay thing yet. We're not ready yet. We'll get there though. I pride myself in not sugarcoating anything or not like giving the good version of things or the fluffed up version of things. I'm not here to market Odinani or nothing like that. But that's a little bit much. Okay, things a little bit much. Yeah, this is a little too much for right now. So we're gonna gradually get there. Okay. Kadema. In a community of family-focused culture like Igbo, would you be pathologized as ill or sick if you prefer to isolate more than socialize? I think, okay, no. But if if you're indoors a lot, like in the village, in the city, it doesn't matter. If you're indoors a lot in the village, somebody might wonder if you're sick, right? But there are plenty of loners. It's the same ratio of loners in our culture and not. But I will say this. I think being an introvert, extrovert, alone, like all that stuff. I think a lot of those things are semi-remedied in communal cultures, right? Semi-remedied, thick and well, good question. They're semi-remedied in communal cultures. So in communal cultures, you'll notice that there's a way you greet elders, there's a way you greet your peers, there's a way you greet this person, there's a way you greet that person, right? And then you notice in America that one of the anxieties you have is, okay, what do I say? What am I going to say? Oh, if I say that, I'm going to sound stupid. Okay, maybe I should say this. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? Right? But in a lot of Asian cultures, a lot of African cultures, you kind of already know what to say. It's already there, especially if you don't have something specific to say, but you want to acknowledge somebody, right? So that's remedy number one. Remedy two, there's already a culture of greeting people every day, right? Of greeting people every day. So conversation with people is not as nerve wracking. Can you like, whenever like if you have a long period of isolation and then you try to go socialize, there's that awkward, like it's hard at the beginning, then as you get to it, but there's already like a, good morning every day. Everybody's saying good morning. Everybody's saying good morning to everybody. And it's very rewarding, right? Whether you're an introvert or extrovert, it's a very like it's like, when we talk about spirituality, sometimes we don't look at the things we consider little. Saying good morning to somebody is very powerful, right? That's another thing I started doing. I was like, why in my culture is it normal to say good morning to everybody, but I come to America and I don't do that? So I started doing it, and it just the whole your interaction with the entire world changes, right? And then two, there are things that like in America, like eye contact. We don't really do eye contact at home like we do in America, right? And the human animal is supposed to register eye contact as an extreme threat, right? Something very charged is happening when eye contact is being made. You understand? And we don't really do that. And I was thinking about that like a few months ago. I was like, how much of a role does that play in people's desire to be social? The fact that in America you have to wing, right? There's a lot of different things. So I don't know how to explain this. You kind of have to go to Africa to feel it. But social interaction there is it's not stressful. And this is from somebody who, again, short social battery. It's not stressful. There's not a performance aspect of it. Like somebody like, okay, this is one of the things that I used to always do when I just come back. The first week I'm back, or not even the whole time I'm back there, we're just visitor after visitor after visitor after visitor, right? And this is one of the things that stresses out a lot of like Americans that return. And what always flips the switch for me is this happened twice. I realized like you don't have to perform, right? So somebody comes over to your house, you have to do this thing in the West we call hosting, where it's like okay, have you had something to eat? And this and this, and then you have to like now try to have conversation with them. You have to become an entertainer, right? You have to become an entertainer. But like there, I noticed that people can come to your house, sit there, not say anything to you other than like, hello, how are you? That kind of thing. Sit there for 30 minutes. Anybody that's been home, you can, I mean, if your experience is different, let me know, but I'm sure you can vouch for me. Sit there for 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour, not say a word. And then get up and say, okay, that was it was nice visiting you. I'll see you later, and they'll go home, right? And once I learned, it's like, bro, just let them chill, like chill. If you don't have anything to say, you don't have to say something. You know what I mean? But like in America, if somebody comes to your house, you have to entertain them and keep them engaged until they leave. And so that's another social pressure. So you got the eye contact, You get the fact that you don't have a regular practice of like greeting people and talking to people. You got the fact that it's not always your family, right? Like it's not always in the West, not always your family. Or at home is more likely your family. And then you get this I don't know what to say thing in the West because like there's not these like culturally prescribed ways of interacting, right? So it's a lot of brain power goes into interacting in the West because you're in the middle of a performance. And I'm not saying this like one's better than the other, right? I'm not saying that one's better than the other. But what I am saying is that when you go to Africa, the social interactions are really smooth. Like you're never going to be like, you can get tired of people visiting you too damn much. That's normal. That's just them being, that's just excess. But it's not the same thing here. Here, it's each interaction is stressful to an extent. Every single interaction is stressful. What do I say to this person? Oh, this person might be, is this kind of person? Is that kind of person? Am I coming off this way? Are they coming off that way? A lot of those things you don't really, it's not really like forefront of the mind, and just in that culture. And I think a lot of communal cultures, a lot of the reason they do things the way they do, you come in, you take off your shoes, you greet this person this way, you greet that person that way, so on and so forth. It kind of gets rid of all that, the stuff that like a lot of the stuff that causes the nerves, right? So I would say at home, like the social battery runs out more because of the amount of people that are visiting you, but each visit itself isn't an issue, right? Each visit itself isn't an issue. And there's ways to get around it. So instead of having everybody visit you one by one, you just have one party and you feed everybody, give them food, hang out, and then go about your life. Once you're not a new shiny person, everybody just it becomes normal again, right? But when you land, oh, visit, 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 that kind of thing, right? So yeah, it's not when you get those like family heavy cultures, those like communal type of cultures, they kind of have inbuilt things to make the social interaction smoother and less of a like a performance, right? I'm not saying performance in a derogatory way or a bad way, right? That kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. We still don't like census till this day, yeah. Right. Yeah, 1013 in calendar. That's what I heard, but I don't know. Okay, I want to make a sacrifice because I don't know. Okay, I want to make the sacrifice because I don't want to go to a Denani hell. LOL. But seriously, I just want to know. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want to go to a Denani hell. There's no Denani hell. You understand? There's no Denani hell. So if a sacrifice is you giving something, sometimes to receive something else, right? You giving something to receive something else, or you giving something as an acknowledgement. So a lot of people at home, when they come from church and they join Odinani, which is one day you'll realize how goofy that sentence sounds. When they join, they replace like their excessive church visiting with excessive sacrificing. And you're not going to get points. You're not going to get heaven points in Odinani for doing more prayers or more sacrifices or whatever. Just understand it this way, right? Try not to see it from a religious lens. Odinani, we just see the extent of relationships you have can surpass the human realm. Okay? So you have a relationship with the people in your community, your family, your friends, whatever. But then you also have a relationship with the sky. You have a relationship with the earth. You have a relationship with the rivers. You have a relationship with those who are living and non-living. You have a relationship with those who never lived to begin with. They just exist as spirit, and that kind of thing. You have a relationship with the unborn. You have a relationship with it's just they're all a member of your community, right? And every now and then you just say good morning to them. That's all it is. If they give you something, you sometimes give back, or you at least say thank you, right? So some people will go to the river and they'll give like a basket of this or a basket of that and that kind of thing, right? But what's the reason they're doing that? What's the reason they're giving that thing to the river? It's because the river has been sustaining their family for hundreds or thousands of years. The river is the reason they can bathe, the reason they can cook, the river sustains them through drinking, right? Sometimes the river has saved their lives. You understand? So of course, every now and then go give her thanks, right? But it's not that if you just do more sacrifices, you get more Denani points and that kind of thing. Like that's goofy. That's silly. So that's understand that. Some things you need, like there are some things you want to do, and maybe a sacrifice might make sense for it. But then you also have to remember not even our ancestors, like even people now that aren't trying to form, right? People at home kill their own food, right? In the West, we don't. So we're using Western brain to walk through Africa. That's crazy. They kill their own food, right? People buy a live chicken and they kill the live chicken. People buy a live goat and they kill the live goat. If they don't kill it, the exact person they did the cash exchange with killed it in the market, right? Even if you go to ShopRite and all these new air conditioned ass places, even if you go to places with air conditioning, right? They received it from somebody who killed it directly. And when you kill that thing right then and there, there's a proper way to kill it. The blood will go to the ancestors, will go to back to the earth, will go back to the land. It's respectful to what you've killed, and it's an acknowledgement for those who are not in the physical form. It's acknowledgement to the earth, right? The blood goes back to Allah. The blood goes back to the ancestors. That kind of thing. You use that moment as a way to acknowledge them. And then you cook the meat and you eat it. But in the West, here in the West, what I do is I go to a store and I see a piece of chicken that's been dead for 14 weeks in a plastic bag, and they froze it, and I buy it and unfreeze it and cook it, and there's not a drop of blood inside of it, right? There's not a drop of blood inside this thing. And I start cooking it and I start eating it. So then this idea of sacrifice becomes this like, how many times do I do a sacrifice? Should I do that? Oh my God, that's crazy. They killed the thing. No, that's just being human. It's just part of humanity. You kill the thing. But we give the blood to the land. We give the blood to the ancestors. That's all that is. Okay. Now people are coming from church and they're now doing Odinani church with their church mentality. So they think that the more sacrifices they do, the more uh, spirit points they get, or heaven points, or I don't like. And so I feel bad for a lot of the chickens and goats at home because people are just killing them up and down. Sure, but hopefully they overcome that particular piece of ignorance because it's annoying, right? But yeah, if you're going to eat meat, something's going to die. And that thing that's going to die, there's a proper way of going about killing it. There's a proper way of going about including your entire community, living and non living, in the eating and the partaking of this meal. Okay? Something more. We say good morning in Ohio and Texas. Yes, one of the nice things about moving to the South was hearing good morning, being able to say good morning without somebody going, that kind of thing. That was one of the nice things about moving to the South. Okay, let's try to catch back up. What does seeing and carrying a lot of palm oil in a dream mean? Angel, like I don't read dreams. I don't read dreams. But the palm oil is used to represent life. Funny enough, in this conversation of sacrifice, palm oil is used to represent blood in ritual, right? So sometimes the blood aspect will be replaced with palm oil, right? Palm oil represents life. Living, like the energy of life, vitality, right? Vitality. So that's what that represents. If you're seeing and carrying a lot of palm oil in a dream, just know that palm oil is a represents vitality. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Eye contact is uncomfortable. You know? Americans view not making eye contact as a lack of confidence. Yes, yeah. So Me and my brother were arguing this because he sees it the American way, that if he says somebody doesn't make eye contact with you, something's off. Which sure, but I feel like it's a lot of pressure. That's a lot because it's like we gotta just keep doing this with each other. And sometimes, like when I have to do prolonged eye contact, I forget what we're talking about. I just start thinking about the eye contact because it's intense, right? It's very intimate. So there's a lot of things that I wonder how it affects people's understanding of socializing, right? People's understanding of socializing, you know, that kind of thing. But like anybody that's been to Africa, like this, it's just smoother. If a language barrier doesn't get in your way, I don't know how to explain it, but like the, I don't know, I don't want to make blanket statements, but I used to just say that they just have better social skills. But that's not what it is. It's just like there's so many things in culture to kind of just facilitate what is nerve wracking or to like mitigate what is nerve wracking about being social. So it's not that big of an issue, right? So I don't know. How is gossip viewed in Odinani? Normal part of humanity or is looked down upon? Gossip is just seen as like it's associated with femininity. It's associated with femininity. I'm trying to find the book. Efuru, Efuru. Please let me have it back here. Where is Efuru? There's a book called Efuru. It is it's like written like if you've heard of the book Things Fall Apart, Efuru happens like 15 years after the events of Things Fall Apart. About 15, 20 years after the events of things. And they're not connected, but it's just timing on it, right? And it feels like things fall apart from a woman's perspective, right? It's just kind of the same era, same culture, but from a woman's perspective. And like 30 to 40% of the dialogue from my reading, which is gossip. But it worked so well in the story. It worked so well. And you felt like you were sitting there while like your two aunts were going back and forth half of the time. And it was nice. But yeah, it's just seen as something women do. It's seen as a feminine, kind of just a part of femininity, is gossiping. Um, I don't think the view on it is that different in that context. The people who are giving gossiped about don't like it. The people doing the gossip are having a good ass time. So it's just that's kind of a universal thing, that kind of thing. The Afa, the divination Afa is known as, one of its name is the gossiping old woman. The gossiping old woman is one of the names for Afa. Because the spirit that is guiding Afa is a woman, is a woman's spirit, and she's talkative, right? And she's gossipy, as they say. And, I've heard that there are a lot of age grade positions in Africa, yes, including Igbo society. But I also heard in antiquity we didn't know our ages. It seems a conflict. No, no. So in antiquity, we don't track like how many years, like how, like my dad. I don't think my dad actually knows how old he is. My father-in-law, my mother-in-law does because she came from a rich family. My mom does because she's young enough that by the time she came of age, it was a normal thing. But my father-in-law and my dad, I mean, they'll tell you whatever age they want to, right? Age grade means we were born around the same time. It doesn't, that kind of thing. We were born around the same time, and that we were born within a certain span of time together. So it's not like, oh well, I don't know how old I am, so I don't know what age grade I am, right? It's this kid was born, and when they were born, this one's wife was pregnant, and she had that one a few months later, and this was all a year after that one was born, and that kind of thing. So we track ages by like sequence of events, right? This one was born after that one. That's my age. My age is I was born after that one. My age is I was born the same time as that one, right? And so then that's how you get the age grade thing. But like they say I'm 32 years old, I'm 71 years old, I'm 36 years old, I'm 21 years old. That wasn't as much of a thing, right? Back in the day is what they say. And I see evidence of it. You know, I have some I have some ratchet ass cousins that till this day argue with everybody about their ages, and the ones that are younger than me are all of a sudden older than me, and it's just a mess. It's a mess. I don't want to get into it. Like the oldest one is somehow my age, but her younger siblings are older than her. Nah, it's just a mess. But they all went and just put whatever age they wanted to because they weren't tracking it. So I didn't know. Like it's funny. There's like a big South Sudanese community in the town that I grew up in, and it was this joke in their community that everybody's birthday was January 1st. So when you were in school, January 1st would come up and then like it was every Sudanese kid's birthday. But because they didn't track date of birth and things like that, um, where they're from. So mm. Yeah, yeah, okay. So the process of decolonizing and divesting from Abrahamic religions is massive. The ritualistic sacrifice sounds very Catholic to me. 10 sacrifices equals 5 Odinani heaven points. Yeah, yeah, like it's a video game. Yeah. Yeah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay. Daria, the people know generally how old one is. Cool. So Creative Force already answered this. I've seen that with AA boomers, not knowing one's exact birthday, but having a rough estimate based on the events that happen. Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. In Chicago, good mornings varied, mostly elders and men who think you're pretty spoke. That's hilarious. What is the deepest meaning and understanding of Mary in Odinani? Right. What is the deepest meaning and understanding of me? You don't even want like you don't even want the damn you, man, he said the deepest, man. Shit, the deepest. I don't, it's a tough question for me to answer because I don't know what you mean by the deepest, right? But and then again, I can probably talk about Miri for 5 days on this live if you guys want me to. So it's what's the specifics of the question, right? We know that water is life. This thing we call life is actually water. This thing we call. By the way, guys, so I have cracked a code thanks to the help of members of the Patreon community. I have cracked the code for Igbo numerology, and I can now reach. Okay, so I now know the meanings. Before my understanding ended at about 8, right? In Igbo numerology. I now can go to 16. I know the meaning of numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. The next video I'm releasing is called the Oseora. It's about the third eye. All right. The next video is Oseora, the third eye. After the Oseora, I'm doing Igbo numerology, right? And so I'll be releasing the videos, plural, on Igbo numerology after that. But I've figured out what I don't even honestly I haven't seen it in any book I've read, anything like that, right? But I now know the meanings of those numbers. So why did I start saying that? Oh yeah, because the last few deal with your I'll give you a clue. Your universal stream, the stream that you are on in your way through creation. And understanding those last numbers is, to me, a good way of explaining the concept of predestination. There's a link between water, predestination, and life. Okay? Water, destiny, and life. Water is also the portal between worlds. Water does not stay in one place. So, water will take you from Lamiri. Yep, I'm live. I'm live. She's here with me. Water will take you from Alammo to Alamado, back to Alammo. Water will take you to Ubi Chuku. Water will take you to Ubi Chuku. Water is the reason you can think. Water is the reason you live. There's a lot. We're just pieces of water moving about, right? Just pieces of water moving about. Don't know. It would also be easier to know how old you are by comparing yourself to those born around similar time. Yeah, thanks for your explanation. Okay, you guys already got it. I went from making direct eye contact as a youth that unnerved people to not being able to make eye contact anymore. Nduh, nduh. Some people try to hypnotize you with their eyes, maybe. In Yoruba, we seem to I think you're saying Yoruba probably. We seem to do sacrifice when we need help as an exchange for something spirit. Yeah, exactly. You got it, right? So Netter by nature nailed it. So he says that in the Yoruba tradition, you do sacrifice as an exchange, right? So some abara require, or like if you go to an abara for one thing or another, right? Think of an abara as somebody, as like a member of your town, right? They're a member of your town, but this person is high powered somehow. They have access to certain things that other people don't have. You understand? And some abara, they are paid in sacrifice. You pay them in sacrifice. Some, you understand? You pay them in sacrifice. Okay, I need this. Okay, boom. But most people don't need to. I don't want to explain it, but you don't. The emphasis on the abara is not as high in Igbo culture, so it's not that often that you need to be doing that. So most of the time, you see people go to abara. It's like it's almost always settling a dispute. It's almost always like let's take it to the Supreme Court, which is the abara, right? The Arishi. And in order to even start that process, you need to pay. So I need 2 cows and a chicken, right? That kind of thing. So that's one of the reasons sacrifice is done. Yeah. I got these cool ass cards for Kedu. I've had them for a while, but I haven't. Oh, where's the camera? There's the camera. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So da, 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 da. Eyes are the doorway to the soul. Why do we want to be staring at you? So yeah, it's intense. Hype people have a lot of aggressive. Yeah, that spelling was uncalled for. That spelling was uncalled for. White people have a lot of aggressive social rules because their history is kind of is my theory. Um, I think they're naturally very aggressive people, right? I think they're naturally very aggressive people. They're just not that strong. We're strong, but we're gentle, right? I notice it with the kids, like when my son's playing with kids. I just you just notice it, and then like the certain social rules and things like that. I think sometimes the reason they'll catch you off guard is you'll forget that this person is aggressive as all hell, right? That there's aggression happening. So like you have to be aggressive with them too. I don't know how to explain it. Like you can't be gentle with them. You can't be cordial, right? You have to be ready for this shit to turn into a tug of war for no reason. And I don't think they're doing it to be mean. Have you seen like two white dudes talk? If they talk too long, it turns into like a tug of like a well actually, blah blah blah. Well actually, blah blah blah. Well actually, and it's just like, okay, that was awkward. But that awkward you're feeling, like for some reason it's not shit's not really I mean they're feeling it too, but they're just whatever. It's kind of aggressive. So yeah, a lot of aggressive ass social American cultures specifically, right? Is very forward and aggressive, right? You know, uh, firm grip handshake, stare in the eye, all those things. So that kind of thing. I think I do wonder how much like people who see themselves as introverted, how much their situation would change if they just avoided eye contact. You know, like or how much easier, how much gas would they get on their social battery? How much more life would they get on their social battery if they didn't do eye contact? Like let's call that like the safe mode, right? Or what they call it, power saving mode, right? If they didn't, I think that shit's aggressive as hell, right? So I don't know. I do eye contact at home. You're not expected to do so. I do see facial expressions while conversing. Yeah, I'll look at your face. I'll look at faces, but like just to be beaming into somebody's eye while they're in the middle of a sentence, then I can't hear the sentence. It's too intense, right? It's too intense. I mean, I'll do it because we're here. We're in an aggressive ass place, but you know what I mean. But what am I saying? Nigerians are aggressive as hell too. So I don't. A Nigerian's here calling somebody aggressive. Nigerians are aggressive as hell too. Like as hell. We just don't do eye contact, right? Nigerians are very, 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 very forward. You know, very, 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 very forward. What crimes do people atone with animal sacrifice? What crimes are able to atone with animals? Game of life. That is a good question. Um, Oftentimes things like there is a sacrifice. Okay, oftentimes there's a sacrifice and an atonement process, right? Um, Most crimes in our culture relate to some like they're related to some kind of broken relationship. You've broken your relationship with the earth, which is you've committed an abomination. You've broken your relationship with your family. You've broken your relationship with maybe your community because you had a certain duty you didn't go by, or the community has this rule you didn't follow, or you hurt somebody, that kind of thing, right? So, a big part of the mending of that relationship often requires a sacrifice. So, I would say damn near all of them. Damn near all of them, right? If you even want to consider cooking a sacrifice, like a lot of like when we do traditional court, a lot of the resolutions is okay, cook, prepare a meal for this person, right? Prepare a meal for that person, give a sacrifice over here, blah 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 blah. So almost all major crimes, there's a sacrifice as a I'm sorry to whatever was offended, to whatever force was offended, right? And so I'll say damn near all of them. Damn near all the crimes have a sacrifice. There's some where it's like, hey, don't even bother, just get the hell out of here, right? You know? There's some where, you know, you could be excommunicated, you know, but at that point. But even after you're excommunicated, a sacrifice is done. A sacrifice is done, right? The likes are half full. Man, if y'all don't hit this damn like, I'll headbutt the screen. If y'all don't hit the like button, I'll headbutt the screen. What's going on? What do you mean the likes are half full? You guys are crazy. What's okay? Man, no, no, you guys are about to piss me off talking about the likes are half full. If you don't hit the like button, I'll headbutt the screen, and you, let me give you the eye contact, you will feel it. Yeah? Guys, my next video is dropping tomorrow morning. I should, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to schedule the drop while we're on here. Then I'm going to give you guys the link to hit the notification bell. So hold on. Let me, oh my God. YouTube recommended me annoying ass videos. Okay, hold on. Let me, okay. We are fully uploaded. The title will change. The thumbnail will change. Oh, sale right. No, let me just put the thumbnail the right title here. I hope you guys don't mind me literally doing something that has like nothing to do with live streaming. So. Give me just a second, y'all. I hope you guys are asking questions though, because if I look back and there's no questions, I'm out. All right. Third eye explained. I'm just doing this so that I can have the link for you guys. I'm live, oh. Okay, now what's up? What's up, bud?
I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Are you staying up or are you going to bed?
I kind of want to stay up.
Okay, cool. I'll be out there in a little bit.
You want to do? You want to like do something?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. Machuzo.
Oh, okay.
Let me get this uploaded. Hold on. Next. No, we're turning that all the way on. Next. Give me a second, guys. This is. Anyways, you know what? You guys have good conversations with each other. You guys chop it up. I'll be right with you. Whoop. Save. Next. I got 3 more buttons to click, y'all. Give me a minute. Wait. What's today's date? Okay, tomorrow what time is it gonna drop? We're gonna drop this video at 10 a.m. Huh? We're gonna drop this at 10 a.m. We're gonna drop this at 10 a.m.
Good thing I'm good at staying. Good thing I'm good at staying awake.
I'm almost done. We don't need to stay awake that long. We're gonna drop this at 10. Bachuzo now. Bachuzo.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to be in here, you can come in, but I try to be off the camera, okay? Yeah. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Okay, set as a premiere. Wait. Public. Don't touch this stuff.
I'm not trying to touch it.
I mean, what's the difference between a premiere and an instant premiere? Okay, and then we're gonna copy this, right? No. See, that's the problem. Made a mistake. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. If you guys are still in the room, I'm gonna assume this is real love. I'm really abusing people's patience right now. Give me just a second, guys. What? That's the wrong 10 a.m. I did not set that. All right, you know what? Let me stop being childish. Let me go back. Okay, we are back. Okay, let me see if we got any questions in here. Thank you guys for waiting. Okay, in Odinani or Dinala, are there any specific ideas on natural oils used to anoint? Any ideas on characteristic oils, smooth attributes, that kind of thing? So the only oils I've seen used in any sense are animal fats and palm oil. Animal fats and palm oil, and then usually the ritual will require it. So for example, in our traditional medicine class, there's a particular ritual you do with red palm oil and an egg, and then a flowing body of water. So palm oil gets used a lot in different ways. Okay, so this particular one I'm sharing is one of the introductory rituals. So yeah, it's common. It's very common. Oil. How am I going to put this? Oil and moi are fractals of each other. So certain oil, yeah, I think oil in general, and moi and spirit. So oil gets used to represent spirit a lot and that kind of thing. Interesting, because I tend to look at people's mouth when they talk. Yeah, sometimes it's easier to look at someone's mouth. Yeah. Dalo and Miri is very complex. What is it? I guess. Water. Okay, cool. Don't headbutt the screen. Is that your child? That your child? What do you mean that your child? Is that your child awake? Is that your mind okay? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. She's asleep. Sorry. Don't give me a concussion. Yeah, I'm about to come with the headbutts. I heard your Igbo and responded. Good one, Derek. Yeah, he can hear Igbo. He can speak it, but he you have to poke it out of him. So I've been teaching him since he was little. But he'll be doing Kedu. He'll be signing up for Kedu this time around, and he'll be doing coaching like an adult. So not making crazy eye contact isn't seen as a weakness in Igbo culture. No, no. The Igbo IGBO. No, it's not seen as a weakness in our culture at all. It is not seen as a weakness in my culture. I hope Namdi, can you see who's calling me? Don't say it out loud. Can you see who it is? Is it your mom? Who is it? What does it say?
Wait. It's grandpa.
Oh, okay. All right. Streamers do this all the time, not gonna lie. Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah. Okay, yeah, let me go back because I think I just messed up the thing. Take your time. Are we differentiating? No. In Africa, everywhere in Africa, they stare. They stare. No, don't forget that. I think the only place that I thought that Nigeria was the height of staring, but my Ethiopian friends confirmed emphatically that it's Ethiopia is the worst for staring. It confirmed emphatically because they were telling me this. We went to I had this I used to do like filming and editing and stuff. Well, primarily editing. And we got this like thing to go film like the Ethiopian soccer game. And I remember because I'm not one of them, right? So when I arrived, it was just they got them owl eyes. They got them owl eyes too. So it was just and it was just like it felt like an entire bleacher section just looking at me. I'm like, is everything okay? Like, no, dude, like this is just what they do. They just stare. So yeah, no, the Ethiopia is the worst, but most Africans just stare. It's not this, whatever. I think Americans are very good at not staring. A lot of other cultures, they stare all the time. My eyes are brass, red, brown, so my eyes are brass, brown, red. So if you see them, there'll be interesting. Either you smoke a lot or you have a lot of melanin and maybe Yoruba, maybe Yoruba ancestry. That's one of the stereotypes for Yoruba people is that their eyes become in all types of crayon colors. I'm an eye contact person. My dad emphasized catching someone's eyes can be comforting in some situations. Interesting. Okay. I see how respectful you treat your young one. Give him a choice. It seems that he's aware of the consequences. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. Do you ever go home for Deti December? Bro, Igbo people invented visiting home in December, right? We completely invented this shit. I'm not just saying this. Everybody knows. Everybody knows, right? So there's no such thing as Igbo person. Do you go home for dinner? That's what we do. Like existentially, is we travel to random ass places, and then in December we all swarm to back to the village. And so what it did was it kind of wired the tourism industry around December, and then it became what it is now. Now, do I go back and I go like, but when we go back, it's kind of more chill, I guess. I don't know, like it's not as like clubby as like going to Lagos. There's a lot of clubs in the east too, like in the town I'm from, where because people coming back from December, there's like hundreds of hotels. Like you'll drive through and you'll wonder like how could there be this many hotels and all have business? They do. They all do. They're all functioning. They're all on their second, third branch, right? In Owere. Just ask anybody about Owere, right? And the hotels will not have a club but that's not really the pace I'm on when I go home. And even when I was younger, like I don't want to. There's so many things to me, and this is my own perspective. There's nothing wrong with how people take in places, right? But like for me, I want to do the things that I don't have like experience the things I don't have in America and do the things that I don't have in America. So it's usually just like chilling with family that I haven't seen in a long time for me. I'm boring like that, right? But if you want to get lit, turn up in Nigeria in December, hey, and you'll go to the club maybe if you want to go to the club at 3 p.m. you can and it'll be cracking like it's 1 a.m., right? And then after being there, you wake up at 4, or you wake up, you go outside, it's 4 a.m. already. And if you want to, you can go to another. It's just 24 hours, just all of December going crazy, going absolutely nuts. Now, if you go to the east, if you're in the city, the exact same thing. Sometimes times 10. Sometimes times 10 because the party will now be like on the street. Each person's house, they're having a part, they're having this and that. If during the day, like if you're in the village, so I'm a village ass guy, that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's house, there's somebody returning, so there's a welcome home kind of party type of thing going on. If there's not a welcome home party going on, then people are throwing like events like soccer games and concerts and stuff because the whole village is here. They bring out masquerades because everybody gets to see them. Everybody gets married, so like you can literally just. I remember one year, me and my friend Ike, we were just walking down like a walkway, and we're going from wedding to wedding to wedding to wedding to wedding to wedding. Same thing with funerals, right? You can go from funerals, and then like in Africa, funerals are like celebratory, so it's not like you're going there to cry, right? So if you go there, you eat rice. You go to the next one, you eat rice. So we're going wedding to wedding to wedding to wedding to wedding, and this is when we were kids, so we weren't going like clubs and things like that. So that was the closest we got. You can get food and all that stuff there, and dance and whatever. And there's just so much going on in December. But lately, I think there was one year where I went, and I went in like November, and I stayed till January. And when that January hit, I never stayed like mid January. When January hit, I was like, oh, this is what I remembered when I was 11. Like that's it. Everything just cooled off and calmed down, and it just turned back into what I grew up with. Kids were going back to school. It was just like I was like, oh. So then I realized that as a person, just because of how I'm wired, I shouldn't be coming back in December because it's just too lit. I need to go in the summer, in the spring, and that kind of thing, because that's more the temperature and the vibe that I like, right? It's just more chill and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, Dirty December, yeah, no, we invented that shit. We invented it. So, but it is funny watching people's Dirty December live streams. There's one controversy in TikTok that this girl went to go talk to some big girls in Lagos, big gals in Lagos. She said hi. They didn't say hi back, and like they're making a big hoobaloo about it because she's from the UK, I guess, and you're supposed to say hi to her. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. There's just some social rules there. You don't go to the club just be saying hi to big girls. You gotta be cool. You can't come off like a small somebody. You gotta be cool. So I don't know, it's hard to explain. But yeah, no, Dirty December is lit. I recommend it to anybody that has the energy and the pace for that. If you want to go like absolutely have the time of your life and that's what you're trying to do, go to Nigeria in December. Anywhere you go, mainly southern Nigeria where it's not Muslim. Anywhere you go will be super lit. I think the two most lit places you can go to are Lagos and Owerri. Lagos and Owerri.
No routine.
What?
It's no routine.
It's not working? Okay, do you want to go see mommy?
Hmm?
Oh, Olo? Olo? Okay, take her to her mom. She doesn't know that her mom is home. Thanks, bud.
And the mommy's downstairs. Come on, let's go.
Oma. Call her, Oma, boy. Aw. All right. So, where were we? Okay. Okay, what was I gonna say? Dirty December. Oh yeah, no, Dirty December is lit. Is lit, man. It's lit. And it's yeah, it's lit. The whole country turns into a party in December because all the people from abroad are coming back and all the clubs and hotels are full and traffic is insane and there's generally a lot of money flowing around just because of a bunch of abroadians they call us are here. but just because of how people were making jokes that that I like to just come to the. They told my sister that I like to just come back to the village and take pictures of trees. So yeah. No, my pace is a little different, you know. So yeah. I feel like East Africans there. We all stare, but East Africans take the cake, yes. I traveled to South Sudan 2 years ago as Onyibo. I stood out like a sore thumb. Of course, nah. Of course. I got so many stares when I wore my Igbo beads and people called out Igwe. South Sudanese people watch a lot of Nigerian movies, so they got jokes for days for us. Like you'll just meet South Sudanese people that can speak perfect pidgin. My son's godmother is South Sudanese. My son's godmother is South Sudanese. She lives in Africa now, and that kind of thing. I know a Chisom in Lagos right now who's based in Philly. Yeah, he's probably lit to the gills. Say good night, fam. Okay, good night, Angelical Pickles. Can you share some important understandings of Mary? Not the crayon eyes, huh? Oh shit. Okay, important understandings of Mary. I shared it earlier now. I shared the important understandings of Mary earlier. Plus, I'm getting tired one day. I'm getting tired. But maybe bring it up in another live and I can go more in depth if you need. How I just messed up the debut time of this damn video. And it's probably already debuted, which is pissing me off. Hey, it's already. Oh, all right. Well, I've just released a new video. I've just released a new video. Hold on. Let me send you guys the link if you want to watch it. It's here. I'm going to leave. I'm going to shut off the live now. As always, Uno Gade. Oh, yeah, Abuja is lit too. Abuja is lit. Go to Abuja if you like Dirty December. Go to Abuja. To me, do you think it's. Oh, I appreciate it. Okay, so I just posted a new video on accident. I meant to schedule it for the morning, the 10 of the morning, and I said, anyways, this is whatever. Either way, the video is out now. Here is Abba is also mad lit. I believe it. I believe it. So here's the link to the new video. Go watch the new video. It's debuting now. It's debuting now. It's debuting now. Go watch the new video. It's debuting now. I'm gonna go watch the new video. It's debuting now. But I wrote there you premiered. Yeah. On accident. Are you Abian? Okay. Dalo, as always, uno gade, uno geto. I swear to if you guys didn't look, I got 28 people here. If you guys did not click that link I just sent you and watch the new video, because I busted my ass on this video. If you guys don't watch it, I'm headbutting the next you guys in the next live. But either way, the new video is out. As always, unu ga-adị, unu ga-eto, nke ọbụla unu tiri aka ọ ga-adị n'ụwa. Ọ ga-adị otu a na-eke, n'orie, n'afọ. Click it. Let's go. You say. Oh, am I still live? I'm still live. You're live. No, I'm not live, though. Leave me alone. Uh-huh.